Pecco Bagnaia says he and Marc Marquez have similar feelings about the GP25, while Jack Miller has shared key issues with KTM for 2025. Stay tuned for the full discussion. Francesco Bagnaia and Marc Marquez have officially joined forces under the Ducati factory banner, and their collaboration is already showing promise. Following the post-season testing this week, which marked the first time both former MotoGP champions shared a garage, their focus was clear: maximizing the potential of the new GP25 for the upcoming season. As the paddock closely watches their dynamic, two competitive titans on the same team, their initial cooperation appears to be setting a positive tone for the future of Ducati's racing efforts. Bagnaia, who just came off another successful season, was quick to highlight the early strengths of the GP25. According to him, the bike is already displaying impressive capabilities and, with further refinements, could become a significant step forward from its predecessor. The engine has demonstrated notable power, while the chassis seems to be heading in the right direction. However, Bagnaia did note that certain aspects, such as braking, are still better on the GP24, suggesting that while the GP25 shows promise, it's not yet perfect. The winter months will allow Ducati's technical team to fine-tune these areas, ensuring the machine is race-ready for the challenges ahead. Perhaps most importantly, Bagnaia and Marquez took the time to exchange detailed feedback despite their different riding styles. Remarkably, both riders came away with similar assessments of the bike's strengths and weaknesses, a fortunate convergence that will undoubtedly streamline development over the winter. Their aligned feedback will provide Ducati engineers with a more focused approach, simplifying what can often be a complex process of refinement. For Marc Marquez, the transition to a full factory setup at Ducati represents a new chapter in his storied career. After riding a one-year-old bike at Gresini, he now has access to the latest machinery, identical to that of Bagnaia, placing him in a stronger position to compete at the top level in 2025. This week's testing offered Marquez a chance to assess the differences between the new GP25 and the bike he campaigned this past season. While he acknowledged that the GP25 isn't yet at the same level as the GP24 in some areas, he remains optimistic about the direction in which the bike is headed. Both riders are encouraged by the initial results and are confident that the Ducati engineers will continue to make strides throughout the off-season. Their next opportunity to test the GP25 will come during the pre-season sessions at Sepang in early 2025. By then, Ducati will have had time to address the areas identified in this test, setting the stage for what could be a highly competitive season with both Bagnaia and Marquez gunning for the top step of the podium. The combination of Bagnaia's current form and Marquez's relentless drive promises to make Ducati a formidable force in the upcoming MotoGP season as they push each other and their machinery to new heights. As the season draws nearer, all eyes will be on how this powerhouse duo continues to develop their machines and how their collaboration shapes Ducati's future. Jack Miller's departure from KTM marks the end of a challenging chapter in his MotoGP career, one filled with both promise and frustration. After a strong showing in 2023 where he seemed poised to push KTM into contention, the 2024 season failed to meet expectations. Despite the potential of KTM's bike, it became evident that Miller struggled to harness the full capabilities of the machine this year. KTM had developed a bike with undeniable strengths, particularly in engine performance. The power unit was praised for its strong top-end speed, capable of competing with the best on the grid. However, there were clear areas where the bike fell short, particularly in low-end torque and throttle response. These issues, Miller found, made the bike difficult to control in the crucial acceleration zones, limiting its ability to maximize drive out of corners. The bike's vibrations also emerged as a persistent issue, a technical shortcoming that likely played a role in Miller's difficulties with consistency across the season. The 2024 season also brought challenges with the updated tires. Miller's inability to adapt to these changes hampered his performance on the KTM. While the chassis and swing arm of the bike remained largely unchanged from 2023, Miller couldn't replicate the promising results of the previous year. The promising end to last season, where KTM looked competitive, was overshadowed by setbacks and underwhelming results in 2024. KTM's decision to part ways with Miller mid-season in favor of promoting rising star Pedro Acosta from the Tech 3 team was a move that signaled the manufacturer's desire for fresh momentum. While Acosta represents the future, it was clear that KTM was eager to turn the page, looking for new energy and ideas to overcome the technical obstacles that had plagued their 2024 campaign. As KTM set their sights on the future, Miller, too, began to prepare for his next chapter. After losing his Tech 3 seat due to the signing of Maverick Vinales and Enea Bastianini, Miller turned his focus to his new opportunity with the Pramac Yamaha team. With a wealth of experience gained from stints at Honda, Ducati and KTM, Miller is now poised to contribute significantly to Yamaha's development efforts in 2025. His deep knowledge of different manufacturers and bike setups makes him an invaluable asset as Pramac Yamaha looks to regain competitiveness in the grid. In this new venture, Miller will team up with Miguel Oliveira, who brings a fresh perspective from Aprilia. Together they form a duo rich in technical expertise, capable of shaping Yamaha's future in MotoGP. While his time with KTM ended in disappointment, Miller's legacy as a rider and developer remains intact, and his new role with Yamaha could mark the beginning of a much-needed resurgence for both the rider and the team. Alex Espargaro has announced his retirement from MotoGP following the final race of the 2024 season at his home track in Barcelona, capping off a career that began in 2004. Reflecting on his journey, Espargaro emphasized that his legacy should highlight the power of perseverance over raw talent. Starting his MotoGP career in 2010 with Pramac and becoming a full-time rider in 2012, Espargaro raced for teams like Aspar, Forward Racing, Suzuki and most notably, Aprilia. It was with Aprilia that he experienced his greatest achievements, securing his first Grand Prix victory in Argentina in 2022 and adding 2 more wins in 2023. As he looks back on his career, Espargaro wants to be remembered for his relentless work ethic, stating that he often felt less naturally gifted than many of his peers. However, through dedication, strategic teamwork and a strong support system, he was able to overcome those challenges. His story, he hopes, will inspire others to recognize that hard work and persistence can indeed surpass talent. While Espargaro leaves open the possibility of returning as a wildcard in 2025 due to his testing role with Honda, he currently has no plans to pursue further racing. After crossing the finish line in his final race, he felt a profound sense of relief, signaling that he was ready for the next phase of his life. Though he will miss his Aprilia RSGP, Espargaro expressed contentment with his decision to retire. He is proud of the journey he has completed, the accomplishments he's earned, and the family he's built. Understanding the importance of timing, he feels fortunate to close this chapter of his life on his own terms, fully at peace with his decision. Hey MotoGP fans, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest action.